Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am down here in Alex's basement and we're going to do a full tour of all of his aquariums down here. We are setting up a big new project for him today.
Oh, yeah.
So before we do that, we felt like it would be a good idea to just show everything in the current state of all the basement aquariums.
Let's give him a quick update.
Can't wait to show it, so let's dive right in. Okay, so we are down here in Alex's basement, and obviously you guys know this big 220 gallon Lake Malawi predator hap tank that we set up a year ago. But Alec, before that, you want to go check out your other tanks?
Why don't you start with the little guy?
Let's do that.
Come on.
So this is a shrimp tank, right?
Yeah, I call this kind of my sitting tank. This is my favorite seat, and this is a nice little view to my side while I'm watching TV. A lot of fun little action of my little shrimp here.
And this is a very different tank than your other ones, obviously, since you're so into African cichlids. This is not only full of plants, but also shrimp.
Yeah, we got a planted nano aquascape, so I wanted to do something really different. Shrimp has always really interested me, and it's kind of like, I like the biggest of the big kind of fish and the smallest of the small, so I like the contrast.
So this is a 10-gallon water box. What else is going on?
Yeah, so I got some Amazonia aqua soil. I got some washer tang that's really growing really well. It's scaped with dragonstone, and I got an Amazon sword in the back with some moss as well. And on top I got some duckweed, which I know some people don't really like because it can be pretty invasive, but I have found that it really keeps the nutrient level really low in the tank, which is great, making this tank very low maintenance and just a lot of fun. I also just added in catappa leaf, which shrimp love, and it's great also for water parameters. So this is a very low maintenance tank. I do very rare water changes on it, and the fish or the shrimp colony is actually thriving.
And as you're just sitting here watching TV, you look over to your left and you just see random shrimp popping out here and there.
Yeah, I love watching them. They're always scavenging for food. They're always climbing on the glass and stuff. You know, a little commercial break on the TV, I'll just look over, and it's a real nice, clean, very natural looking tank.
Which is a big contrast to your big African cichlid tanks. Do you want to move on to that one?
Nice segue. Let's move on.
So next we have the 40-gallon Mbuna tank with the nice logo right above it.
This is one of my favorite setups because, first of all, 40 breeder is like one of my favorite tank sizes. It's 3 feet long, 18 inches front to back, and it's just a great footprint. And then obviously the sign really completes the setup. And I love the rockscape on this. I love the spotlight with the Asta 20 light, which is the same light I have on my 10-gallon water box. But I love the spotlight and the shimmer that this gives, and just kind of a shadowy feel to this tank, which is a little bit different. And I've always been an Mbuna fan. It was kind of my first love with African cichlids, and so I got a few awesome colonies in here with mostly Masobo deep magungas in here. I got mangano in here, elongatus chuiers in here, and JLo reefs, and they're all very small, and I'm growing them out for my next very big project. And in the future, once I move these to the next big project, I will continue to use this as a quarantine system for, it can be for bigger predator haps, as long as they're not too big, and also more Mbuna that can transfer over to the new big project.
And we've hinted at the new project coming soon, and you might see it in the background of this video, but we're trying to drop some subtle hints as we're setting it up this weekend. But Alec, we should probably move on to the 220 now.
All right, so let's go over to the 220. Now, this tank's been up and running for over a year now. These guys are massive. I love them. I've talked about them a whole bunch of times. I see them every day. So, Troy, I want to see what you have to say about my new tank.
Well, how are the turntables?
So I love this tank. I've really come to love African cichlids after Alex set up this tank. I actually got my own peacock and hap tank because I love this so much. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is that we set up the first 125-gallon tank with some small, tiny predator haps. I'll try to put some pictures of these fish on the screen just to show how small they were and how far they've come. But I see this tank probably every 6 months or so when I get down here, and these fish look huge compared to the last 6 months. And just some of them that really stand out, I think the Rostratus just has amazing color and fin extensions. when it was small, about 2, maybe 3 inches tops, it was all silver and gray with just a couple black dots on its body. So that has really grown. It's probably over a foot now. It's just huge. The other big fish are the 2 Malawi hawks, which are just massive. They've really grown into their full maximum capacity. They're well over a foot in length. When we got the first Malawi hawk, it was barely an inch. So it's just awesome to see those guys grow. A couple of the original, the OGs if you will. Also the Nimbochromis venustus, probably the most common hap you would see at most fish stores. And this is just a good showcase of how big they get. This guy, again, is probably a foot in length. And
people don't realize that when they see it at the pet store.
Very true. And you see them as like 1 or 2 inches, and they have like those giraffe spots and coloration. And they lose that over time as they grow and kind of color up with more solid coloration and yellow head. But that's a beautiful fish. The deep water hap is actually one of my favorite haps. I have a tiny one in my tank at home, and this is just a showcase of how big they get. This one's probably 7 inches with some beautiful color. So mine's gonna grow hopefully into that.
Troy's worried he's gonna have too many fish by the size of this one.
I have a couple of the same common haps, and most of these guys, like Alec has said over time, are more predatory fish. They're more predator haps that get much bigger, and some of the more common haps in here, there's only a few, are types that work really well with peacocks, and that's what I put in my tank. And they get a little smaller in total length at about 6 or 7 inches for most of them. One of those would also be the Cyanochromis fryerii. This guy looks really good with a lot of blue. I really like the white coloration on the forehead and the fins. Also the child tilapia, what is it?
Rhodesii.
I love that guy. He has a little different body shape, so he sticks out in this tank. Also the Malawi thick lips I should have mentioned earlier. He was one of the very small fry. He was an inch long. He was kind of a slow grower. Every time I came down here, I would be like, okay, when's this guy gonna really get big in that color that we were expecting? And now he's a showstopper in your tank.
Yeah, it's like every few months there's a growth spurt by somebody that you weren't expecting, and it's really fun to see.
And I think that goes to show you, if you have the right setup, the right tank mates, the tank size for the fish that you're keeping, they will mature into what you would expect from them with the full color and size. A couple of other ones that really stand out, what is it, Dimidiochromis kiwingi?
Kiwingi, I love that Kiwingi.
I really like him. He's gotten big. I like his slender shape and body. The sunset hap, which you've mentioned, is very similar to the Malawi eyebiter, but has some more light blue coloration with a red fin, and has the same like darted face that the Malawi eyebiter would have, but is a much more peaceful fish, which is kind of the best of both worlds. You don't have the super aggressive nature of the Malawi eyebiter.
He's way more chill.
And then lastly, I know Alec's favorite family of haps are the Bucochromis, and I know you have a couple new guys, the Lepturus green, the Bucochromis
Rhodesii yellow on the left there, a little guy.
And those guys are still pretty small and will grow and color up, but the one that's really caught my eye was the Nototania. I know that's one of your favorites, and you finally have one that is fully colored up and almost its complete size that you would expect. It's probably, what, 10, 11 inches?
Let's zoom in on him. He's actually real fired up right now. He's got that black bottom fin to really let everybody know he's meaning business right now.
And actually earlier I got some good footage of him that I'll put on the screen of just really close up when he was really colored up.
When this guy is really colored up and really fired up, there's really nothing better.
And one thing that was kind of interesting when we were talking last night, Alec, you said the Tyrannochromis nigerventer was one you're very excited about, and you may be a little disappointed with what he's been so far. It's actually a wild caught fish, so we don't know if he's 100% the species that we wanted, but he would be much bigger over time, right?
Yeah, he's going to be possibly the biggest one in here, and he just has really unique colors. He has a little bit more of an orange body, and that's just something I haven't really seen with nigerventers I've seen before, but he is really cool, and I think probably the coolest name in the game.
Yeah, and if he reaches his full potential and color, that guy will be a showstopper that we would love to update you on coming soon. So keep an eye out for that, and we're very happy with how this 220 gallon custom aquarium turned out. We have the nice stand, tank, and canopy. You have the AI primes that you're going to be putting on this tank very soon to maybe put it over the top.
And we always got to give a shout out to Aqua Decor for the background. I've never seen a background like this before I got it. They made it custom for me, and since we got it installed, I've seen it all over Instagram and YouTube and stuff, and it's just really cool to see so many tanks that have been inspired by this one. So I'm definitely flattered and honored, and what I really love about this tank is that there's always something to update and show with somebody growing or coloring up, and new stock lists, and it's just always growing.
All right, so that is the 10 gallon, the 40 gallon, and obviously the 220. Alec, tanks look great. Well done. And obviously we have our next big project. It's that guy right there. Boom. That's a big hint. We are working on this tank this weekend. You're probably going to see a lot of videos from us. Obviously Quinn is not here. He has the start of the school year and coaching that he is just super busy with. So me and Alec are going to tag team this one, and just cannot wait to show you what we have in store. We tried to drop some hints, but we're trying to be subtle. So a lot is to come, so make sure to subscribe down below, and we will see you very soon. Can't wait to show you what we have in store.
We'll see you next time.